60 to 70% of our garbage every day is organics.
In Bali or everywhere?
Everywhere.
I think if people are used to it so much and they don't understand that this is not normal, and they just walk and they don't care, and I'm like, it's your beach, you live here.
And she said, somebody nominate you for CNN Hero. Would you be, would you like to be part of it? And I said, let me think about it. Yes,
Hey guys, welcome to another episode. My guest today is my dear friend Janur Yasa. Janur is the founder of PlasticXChange. PlasticXChange is about cleaning Bali from plastic while also supporting local communities. For his work in PlasticXChange, he was one of the 10 nominants for CNN Hero of the Year. So he became very famous here in Bali. People know him, and we're going to talk about this fame today as well. Janur is passionate about bringing positive environmental change to communities and to the world, and we're going to talk about plastic, composting, and about being a hero. Welcome.
Well, thank you.
How do you feel when people call you a hero?
I don't know. I think I always said, in some way, I don't like to be called hero just because I'm just the representation of the people who's doing this. So I think the people that cleaning Bali, that the mom and the kids, and all the people that clean Bali is the hero. I'm just the representation of that, actually.
I think that's what a true hero would say. Every hero interview would say the same thing. No, I'm kidding. We spoken to you during COVID. It was a year and a half ago, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Before you becoming a CNN hero, when the COVID hit, you were doing PlasticXChange. And I want to repeat a few stories for people who don't know you. How was PlasticXChange born?
So PlasticXChange was born from the needs. As you know, in 2019, we have this pandemic, and in Bali, 80% people live from tourism, and people lost their job. The morale was down, and myself at the time was running a restaurant, and of course, no customer, and it was just come from the needs or the needs to help my village. But when I think about it, if I just give, so there's going to be one hand on the bottom and then one hand on the top. And again, nothing wrong with people giving, nothing wrong with people receiving. But I really want to bring this hand, the one hand on the bottom and one hand on the top, is like become equal. So in Bali, we call it transformational. Basically, you is me, me is you.
Beautiful.
So, and I was thinking, what about, what if they bring plastic, I will give rice. And really the idea was just like, maybe works, maybe not, know. So, and I remember at that time was Friday, May 1st, 2020. So I called my cousin and my village leader. I said, tomorrow, Saturday, at 2 o'clock, I want to go to the village. I have an idea. What about people clean the environments? And I'll give rice. And we have the meeting, and people was get excited about it. And I was like, oh, wow, And then he asked me when we should start. And I said, tomorrow. And then he was like, oh, wow, well, we no need to wait,
Yeah.
So, and then that's how it started. So, started from my small village. And then I thought to myself, if this is work in my village, got to work in a different village also.
I think you also, sorry for interrupting, you also have to mention what happened when you say that the next day, how much plastic you had. I think that's an interesting part.
So, it's really, I never done it before. And people ask me, how are we going to do this? And I said, I don't know. What about 1 kilo of plastic for 1 kilo of rice? And I said, sure. And 7 days later, we got like 500 kilo of plastic. So that means I gave 500 kilo of rice.
Yes.
So, and I was thought to myself, wow, if this is the going rate, I will go bankrupt, right?
Yeah.
Because
I would go bankrupt just by giving 500 kilo of rice.
I know.
Yes.
And then really from that, as cliche it sounds, people said inside of the problem there's a solution,
Yes.
if you think about it. So, and then we start to categorize the plastic. And again, when I start doing this, I do know nothing about plastic. What should I do with it when I
Yeah.
collect it? But when you do something, like this,
Over and over again.
yeah,
Repeat. Yeah.
repeat, and also just like a wheels, when this wheel start turning,
Yeah.
you start slow and then gain the momentum. It's really just people really respond positively. People donate, people offer their expertise. Let's do this, let's recycle it. And I mean, just was so much fun.
Yeah.
So it's the power of collaboration, really.
Wow, that's crazy. I love the concept you coined called edu-action. Can you talk about what that means? Because I think it's very important in this case.
So yeah, if we look at knowledge, there is two kinds of knowledge. One, we call it cognitive. Cognitive is what you learn from listening to this podcast, for instance.
Yeah.
When you listen to the podcast, you become knowledgeable about something.
Yeah.
Also, when you go to school, you read something, you memorize. So it's in your head. Yeah. And then the second knowledge, what we call it embodiment. Yeah, it's like a muscle memory. The only way you can get this muscle memory, or the only way you can get this knowledge, is through action.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I call it. Edu-action is education in action. So beside giving a knowledge cognitively, but also give a knowledge through embodiment, which is through action.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong. Cognitive knowledge is important to inspire you to take action. Otherwise, there's one quote that I like. Knowledge is a rumor until you put it in a muscle.
Nice.
So yeah, knowledge is a rumor until you put it in a muscle.
Yeah.
Until you do something with that knowledge, it's really just a rumor.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what you did. So you made people do things over and over again so they learn and it just becomes a habit.
Yeah, because if we look at the definition of habit, what is habit?
Yeah.
Habit is a muscle memory.
Yes.
It's not what you think.
Yeah.
What you do repeatedly.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the word is what you do, not what you think.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's a muscle memory. Even like right now when I talk, because I talk like this all the time, and this has become muscle memory, and then this has become my way to
Habit.
talk. The habit. So I can change it. I want to talk like this. If I just do it this enough, like this, and this has become my muscle memory, and then this has become my habit.
I don't recommend.
Yeah.
I like the previous version more.
So it's really just to illustrate
Yeah.
that this muscle has a memory, and you can change that muscle memory through action.
Beautiful. So we spoke when PlasticXChange, I think, was started picking up. So if you compare it to the car was on like maybe first or second gear, slowly going. Can you share what it is now?
Now it's I always said this, when there is a disaster, so easy to find support.
Yeah.
When there is whatever disaster is, like mountain eruption, or earthquake, or pandemic, and just people open their heart more.
Yeah.
But now, again, the economy is running and all of that, it's a little bit harder to find support. But we're still going, still going. And now I want to turn PlasticXChange. When we start the PlasticXChange, it's really for like not thinking about how to monetize it and all of that. So really now by the end of this year, I'm thinking about how this PlasticXChange becomes sustainable, meaning the plastic that we collect, when we sell it, is enough to pay for the rice. Right now it's not enough because at the beginning was really want to help.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you say you need more support right now, is it support? Is it funding? People are still want to have rice, or because the pandemic is over, people have their own rice and they're like, we don't bring plastic anymore. So which part of this is breaking right now?
Actually, when I said support is in a lot of different angle, one is probably connection, collaboration, because a lot of like a B corporation, looking for something um, to put in their portfolio, something like that, and I'm here to ready to partners, because what I do is really cleaning the environments, not just from the not just from the unorganics, but also organic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to talk about
Well,
organic because not much give any attention to that organics. And also, fund, is always needed, but also support in how to put a business plan together and all of those things. So yeah, I'm ready for collaboration.
beautiful. But also, I want to just take a step back and recognize what you accomplished, because you're very humble and you don't really talk about that. But some of the banjars in Bali are completely clean from plastic, so there's nothing to pick up. Is that can you share some of the numbers that you were able to, or examples that you were able to do?
Yeah, there's a couple story that I can share here. One of them is like this one village. There was an old lady, and she always bringing the most plastic, and I was so proud to see this old lady bringing so much plastic, and I asked her, like, hey. Why you always bringing so much plastic? What's going on? What is the story here? And then she said, Janur, before PlasticXChange, I always sit at home. I cannot go to the field anymore, and I just waiting for my day, really.
Yeah.
But with this PlasticXChange, now I woke up in the morning, I go around the village, I go, every time I see plastic, I just clean it. So now I have a purpose, really,
Yeah.
So just
Beautiful.
make me, like, well, this is worth doing,
Yes.
seeing inspired people, old people like this, not just old people, but also young people. But this is one of the story that really, make my heart smile. And then this is worth doing,
100%.
Yeah. And there is one village also doing both now, actually, organic and unorganic. They used to have 2 trucks to get rid of the garbage, basically, and now they sold the truck, no need truck anymore.
Wow.
And yeah, so it's what I'm saying here is if we do it together, it's possible. And then there is many of this example that I can share with you. When we do it together, it's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Let's talk about CNN Hero of the Year, because I don't know much about it. I was following the story, but not too much. How did CNN found you, I guess?
It was actually pleasantly surprised. I guess to be CNN Hero, somebody need to nominate you. And I have no idea. And again, when I start this PlasticXChange, there was this big idea of like, oh, I want to be a hero. I want to be this. I want to be that. We're just doing something that I felt like a good idea.
Yeah.
And one day was like, I think it was like in August or something like that. And somebody called me, and I look at my phone, was like, oh, this is United States, must be
tax revenue.
I don't know. I was thinking must be Obama called me,
Probably.
And then, the other end was saying like, hey, I'm from CNN. So I heard about your program. Have you heard about CNN Hero? And I said, yeah, one of the people in Bali, Robin.
Yeah, Ibu Robin.
Yeah, Ibu Robins with Bumi Sehat is one of the CNN Hero. And I said, oh yeah, And then she said, somebody nominate you for CNN Hero. Would you be? Would you like to be part of it? And I said, let me think about it. Yes,
It's good that I called them. Okay.
Yeah, they call, and I asked, what do I need to do to be, go through the process? I said nothing. So just be you, and just know that we're gonna do background check on you. Like, okay, well, what they're gonna find? Like,
no, I don't want it. Bye bye.
No, okay, sorry.
Wrong number.
Yeah, wrong number. But no, yeah, and actually the process was really fast. They called me in August and got go through the process, and then by December I was top 10.
Yeah. We're all voting for you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. So how was it going there and experiencing it? I know you went to United States.
Yeah, I went there in New York. It was surreal experience, really just. I mean, in my life, I travel a lot and all of that. Never really like travel like somebody pick you up, bring you to the hotel, give you all this itinerary. You're gonna do this, this, this. Like, oh my God, this is what felt like
Yeah.
to be taken care of. It was great. It's really the experience to see, the other 9 heroes and what they did or doing for animals, the humanity, environments, and all of that. It just make my heart smile. Really, just wow,
Yeah.
and really just got to the place where I didn't even think about it. Just doing what you love what you do, and collaboration and support from all the people that doing this. It's really that's why when you ask, what it felt like hero, I just proud of all the people that supporting this project.
Yeah, it takes a village to do something
Exactly.
great. Beautiful. So how are you adjusting to your new popularity? A famous guy in here. Tell me any stories. People recognize you on the streets now?
Some people I go to, I don't know, I seen you before, but I don't know where. And I said, yeah, it's a lot of bold people like this. So it's good to be recognized. But I think what I like about it is that now I have a platform to stand from,
Yes.
to really bring the voice forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of like, oh, I have this idea, like, who are you, But
Yeah.
now the same idea, because of the recognition, it's easier to bring the agenda forwards. I think that's what I really like about it, to be able to have some recognition to really bring how we can change our habit about trash.
Yeah. Did it open any particular doors for you once you achieved that people start calling United States every day?
Yeah, just like you invite me for the podcast. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you would not invite me for the
Never.
podcast.
No. I'm like, who's that guy?
Who's that guy?
There's many bold guys
Yeah.
in Uber. What are you talking about? But
It's really, it's been really good. Like I just got, I mean, every day there's an email or text that, the door is open. And like this morning, I just got called to collaborate with university in Solo in Java.
yeah.
They want to do environment, but also want to do permaculture, because I also do permaculture. So yeah, so people heard about my name, and really, like I said earlier, easier to open the door, or the door is already open for me. Yeah.
So for somebody who is listening and they want to do similar to what you do, they want to do business, but they also want to do good and bring something good in life and not just make money and do some random stuff, which we will do. What advice can you give to these people? How can they start?
How do you start? I just do it. Sometime, like I said earlier, knowledge is a rumor until you really put it into action, right? You put it into a muscle. It's really just do it, and if you fail, no big deal. Even if when I start this PlasticXChange in my village, if that was the only way or the only ones, big deal.
It's good enough already.
Good enough. I do something.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So let's talk about organic, because there was some big realization that I know you had at some point about composting and organic. Tell me about it.
So, when you start something, you know what you know, right? And then in a process, in a journey, like, oh, wow, it's many things that I didn't know, And one of the things is really 60 to 70% of our garbage every day is organics.
In Bali or everywhere?
Everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah. In some places might be higher than 70%.
Wow. Because
Yeah.
people think it's all plastic, but essentially
Yeah,
it's
because
organic.
plastic has become prima donna. You know,
Yeah.
meaning like, oh, plastic is bad. Yes, it's bad because it's not,
Biodegradable.
yeah, they're not biodegradable. Even if they become smaller, they become microplastic. And, you know, through that also I learned that we are eat one credit card a week.
Wow.
Yeah, through the air, through fish, through salt, through and anything that we drink, eat,
Wow.
breathe has this microplastic. Yeah. So, and again, you know, 60 to 70% is organic. And what happened is when this organic and unorganic is mixed, and this is what we call it trash.
Yes.
And what happened with the organic, the degradation is not, two kind of a degradation to become a compost. One is called aerob, and the other one is called anaerob.
Okay.
So aerob is the one that oxygen introduced to this process. This is the one actually that not make a smell. It doesn't smell.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So the one that anaerob, this is the one that makes smell, that create the gas methane, all of this bad stuff,
Yeah.
because there is no oxygen. So think about it like this now. If plastic with the organic mix into one pile,
Yeah.
so the oxygen cannot penetrate
Wow.
to this organic. So what happened is because lack of oxygen, so the process of the breakdown of this organic is called anaerob.
Okay.
So this is what the one that create methane and all of those things in a landfill.
Yeah.
So think about in a landfill like miles and miles high. So the bottom one, they didn't get oxygen.
Oh.
So that's why we look at a lot of in landfill become like this combustion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
they
like
burn.
poisonous, dangerous.
Yeah, and even there is idea to mine this methane actually
Yeah.
from the landfill.
Obviously. Everybody needs to make money from something.
I know, but I think it's not an economically viable. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do we do?
So what do we do? It's really we can make composting in our house, in our home. You know, let me talk about Bali for a second. Yeah. So in Bali, we have a long time ago when I was a kid, even right now, you know, compound in Bali divide by 3. Just like in our body, there is head, there is body, and there's feet and hand. You know,
Yeah.
so head is where we have the temples, yeah, and then the body is where we live, like we have where we sleep, where we has our living quarters, and then
Yeah.
we have a kitchen, we have a bathroom, and usually behind this compound there is a land
Yeah.
that we used to throw all the organic.
I see. So
Yeah,
it grows there.
yeah, like you have a banana leaf, throw it over there. You eat durian, throw it over there. You eat papaya, you know, and it's become kind of like this small, small garden
Yeah.
on the back there. So what happened? That space is gone. We call it tabe. Yeah, this tabe is gone because
You need to build a villa there.
yeah, there's a villa, become a restaurant, whatever it is, or you know, people as a kid as a kid, and they need the land
Yeah.
to build the house.
Yeah.
But as a human being, we always create a garbage.
Yes.
Yeah, 2 kind of garbage that we create every day: organic,
Yeah.
non-organic. 60% of this is organic.
Wow.
So what happened? Like we reinvent this space. So like when you build, if you have a small land, if you wanna make more room, you make stories, like you
Yeah.
make it up. So what we do with this, like we just make a hole in your yard, like probably 1 meter wide, and then 1.5 meters deep.
Yeah.
So basically all organic you put in there. Yeah.
So it's
And-
like you open it, you put stuff there, you close it, so you
Yeah,
don't fall
you open
into
it, you
organic.
close it. So you have the what you call this, the lids,
Yeah.
and there's small lids that you open every day to deposit your organics.
Wow.
And the other thing is about composting. There is four things that you need to know, or four components that you need to have when you create organic. You need oxygen, you need a carbon, nitrogen, and then water. So oxygen, because it's open pit basically, and also there's oxygen, and again, like I said, need oxygen, otherwise it's gonna smell.
Is there a hole in this lead to sort of aerate it?
Yes, yeah. The second one, you need carbon. Carbon is anything that dry, brown like me, a lot of carbon.
Okay.
Yeah, anything brown is carbon, and then anything that green is nitrogen, or like meat and this, and so it's nitrogen, and then water, from the rain and all of these things. This is what create life.
Yeah.
This is what create compost. So anything that organic can go there. And again, I always ask this because people confuse about organic. What is organic?
Yeah, wasn't my next question. I'm like, I think I understand, but do I? What is organic?
What is organic? Organic is anything that lived before is organic.
Oh, that's deep. Organic is everything that lived.
That live.
That live.
Yeah, like
anything alive is organic. So
yeah,
the leaf
anything
is
that
organic.
alive before.
I see. What you're
That's
saying.
organic.
Yeah.
Yeah, say like I eat. Say like if I what is it? Pepper.
Yeah.
To write.
Yeah. Paper is organic, made from the wood.
Yeah, and wood is made from trees. Trees is lived before. Okay, put it there.
Ideally not from trees, though.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. And then chicken.
Yeah. Chicken, obviously organic.
Yeah, go there.
Though there's difference now. You can buy organic chicken or not organic chicken.
Well,
but that's how they're raised. It's not what the waste is. Because some people might say, "Well, I don't put my chicken there because it wasn't organic."
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because
it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's a organism.
Yeah.
Organism.
It comes from something that was alive before.
Yeah. So I don't care how they raise. Pesticide or not pesticide, with a hormone or not hormone, we don't care.
Is human waste organic? Like if I poo there, is it organic or no?
No.
I mean, it was alive before. I mean,
Yeah.
it depends when you eat, I guess. If you eat plastic,
think about it like this. Think about it like if you go to the forest.
Yes.
There's a dead animal there. There's poo, from the animals and all of that. Have you seen a forest smell?
No.
Like
actually, that's a good call. No, it doesn't smell.
This doesn't smell.
Yes.
But because they have oxygen, because it's not covered by plastic.
That's wow. That's new.
It's the same thing.
Because I'm like, toilet smells because there are a bunch of plastic, like plastic tubing and plastic everything. Let's say.
They smell because they close the septic tank.
I see, because it's oxygen.
Yeah, there need to be oxygen in it.
Yeah, there's no oxygen.
Yeah, there's no oxygen. So it's really think about it. This is the I always said to people, go to the forest.
Yeah.
Have you seen like, oh my God, this forest is smell? No, like oh my God,
that's true.
Smell?
Wow.
It exactly just like that. Yeah. So this one village that I said earlier that they no need for truck anymore. There's a 350 household. Each household has a hole.
Wow.
For the composting. So there 60% of the trash, which is the organic, never leave the compound.
So what do they do with it? I have a hole and I take it in like garden, or like what do I do with it?
Well, when you have compost, you can just throw it anywhere. But what they do is they put in a garden, they bring it into their rice paddies, rice field. I mean, when it's compost, this is like a black gold.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You can grow anything on a good soil. Yeah. It's like a good soil where you put like a seed in it and it grows.
Exactly.
Ah.
Yeah.
But then the problem is, I guess, back to your story, I used to have a garden, now I build a villa there, and now I have a compost, but I don't have anywhere to make a garden. Is that still a problem?
Well, here's the thing, garden is, you can have one pot of something that grow, say like anything like
Tomato.
yeah, tomato sometimes is hard, but think about the celery. So think about thyme, anything that
Yeah,
that you
those.
need that you need just a little bit, but
Yeah.
you need it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you buy it in a grocery store, you need to buy a bunch, and then you're like, what should I do with this now? I just only need for the spice. I just need for like basil. You can grow it in a pot basically.
Yeah.
So don't think about gardens like something that you know
Yeah. Some beautiful thing where it's like apples grow and then you go.
yeah, apples grows. I mean, that's take time, but
Yeah.
think about something that you need every day to spice up your cooking. Yeah.
But you can also sell it. I assume that these people can take the compost black gold and sell it to a farmer who has a rice
Absolutely.
field. And
Usually, like in this village, for instance, they don't even have enough for themselves. So it's
yeah,
really
I see.
yeah,
So they can use it to grow and feed themselves better.
basically.
Yeah. Wow. I'm learning a lot about the forest. I'm still thinking, yeah, there's no smell in the forest. Like, what is happening with those forests?
Yeah, but what happening in the forest? There is dead animal. There is a poo. There is a branch. There is a leaf. There is. I mean, yeah.
But somebody's eating those dead animals, no? Maybe that's why they don't. Because if rat dies at home, you can smell the rat right away. I assume if rat dies in a forest, somebody goes and eats the rat right away, so it doesn't smell.
I mean, that's what's happening in this composting hole. They have like this nuggets that just eat the.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, the insects and stuff. They eat and then they poo there. I actually saw it somewhere. They eat it and they poo it and then it's even more nutritious because it goes through their organism.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's basically another ecosystem down there.
Yeah.
That thrive because of all of these nutrients from our garbage, from our organic, that would be, like think about like this. If you have organics, in your house, like from your scrap, from your food and all of those things, put it in a plastic jar or plastic, it will smell.
Yes.
Yeah, but put it like in open soil, no smell.
That's so funny because out in the West, the composting bin is made of plastic most of the time. They're just like one bin and a countertop. You put your stuff in and it starts to smell. You're like, I don't like composting anymore.
Yeah, but there is several of those that I see actually. I was in Boston and they have this one that has a hole.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like stack up, So the more you put it, the more stack it. And then what I see the system is like this 2 square. And then in order to turn it to get oxygen, you move it from 1 square to the next square. So that's a little bit work,
Yeah.
But this hole that I said, the tubber, you need to work. Just put it.
So they put it there. How long does it take for it to be black gold?
2 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So here's the system work. You need to have 2 holes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we need 2 holes.
You need 2 holes. So you have hole number 1. You just fill it
Yeah.
until it's full. Leave it. Yeah. Do not take it to the court or anything like that. Just leave it. And then you go to the hole number 1 and number 2. You fill the hole number 2. When it's full, hole number 1 is already compost. And then you harvest it or you dig it. And then you have a empty hole. So fill it here. Done. You just go back and forth like this.
And I know nothing about it, so people listening will be like, this guy's got some dumb questions. But you dig it, and then how long can it stay in the air before you apply it, or do you need to apply right away?
Right away.
So I cannot leave it for like a month? I don't know. Let's say I don't have a rice field. I want to sell it. So do I like bag it and it's still okay for me to go to market?
Yeah. I mean, once you dig it, you can use it right away. No need for aging or anything like that.
But it's okay for it to stay there and it doesn't smell.
Yeah. No smell.
Wow.
Just like the forest, no smell.
So why do people use as cow poo then? Like I go to rice fields, I have a beautiful walk next to your
Yeah.
restaurant. I go around, and sometimes it smells so bad that nobody wants to walk there because they're putting this cow poo everywhere, like on the rice fields. They're just like rows of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why don't you just do something like this?
Well, cow poo is good, but you need to mix it with something. Cow poo is because cows eat grass. Basically, what come out is it's really
It's already black gold.
Yeah, it's kind of like black gold, but it still contain methane. So it's need to aerate a little bit, dry it. What I understand, or correct if I'm wrong, but when I do this permaculture at Moxa, we introduce tiger worm.
Okay.
And basically they eat the cow poo, and then they
poo the cow poo.
That's exactly just like that. It's called worm dropping or something like that. Yeah. So basically they eat the cow poo, and then it's come out as black gold.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for people who are listening to us from, let's say, New York, where you've been, who don't have a garden and don't have anything, but they still want to, can you call it recycling? Like composting is also a way of recycling the waste, right? So they still want to do good, and they want, let's say, do this composting. What do they do with the?
Well, in a bigger city, probably a different story, because people live in a
condo,
condominium and all of that, and again, composting has become, in quote, luxury, because there is kits that people can buy to install it in your kitchen and all of that. But a lot of people, why should I do this? But in a bigger city, it need to be a different system. Probably there is a people that pick up only organic, and then they have facilities to do the organics. But if you look at the whole world, for instance, how many percent is the world is big city?
Yeah.
But what is about the rest? Like in Indonesia, for instance, that we talk about. So even in Denpasar, it's like a big city. There's always space. That you can create this whole
community gardens.
Yeah, community garden and all of that.
That's why it's become very popular in the West as well. There's like a bunch of condos and a community garden. People go and put their stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. So separation. Tell me about the process of separating the waste.
So the hardest thing about handling waste or trash is separation.
Yeah.
Once you separate this, and the next step is easy. Yeah. So like I said, I give the example, the place where we do all this PlasticXChange, they already separate between organic and unorganic. So unorganic, there's plastic, metal, cardboard, whatnot, anything that cannot go into this composting hole, and then they put it into categories, and then there has a price, as a values, like PET, the one that you can recycle it again. There's HDPE or something like that.
I mean, a bunch of plastics that are recyclable.
Yeah.
Wow. So I guess there are two things. One thing is that you need to teach people to do it from the source. Don't mix up your plastic, put them in a separate things, organic separately, plastic separately. I get that, and I guess people are waking up to that, which is beautiful. But then the other thing is when you're getting it already, because a lot of the waste right now is just mesh of this stinky things that. So how does the separation happen? Like, do you know of any machines that do it right now efficiently? How's it done?
Well, this is what the practice that we do. What we call it, collect, transport, dump it. Collect it. What do they collect? The mix of organic and unorganic. And then have truck come, and then transport it, and then dump it to the landfill. And there is people that separating over there, but it's not enough. And then once this organic and unorganic mix, smell, stinky,
You don't want to be there.
oily, and all of this, and it's harder to separate. But once you separate from the sources,
Yeah.
which is from your house, especially the organic, and I always ask these people, when you go to the landfill, what it smell? Is it plastic or is it organic?
Yeah. That's a good call. Yes. Plastic doesn't smell.
Plastic doesn't smell. Plastic
Yeah.
doesn't smell. Well, don't get me wrong. I'm not like, oh, I'm favor of plastic. No, plastic is also bad,
Yes.
But what I'm trying to say here is like the separation of organic and unorganic.
Yes.
Because once you do this 60 to 70% in your house, you already solve 60 to 70% of the problem.
Yeah. But what do we do with the landfills? There are so many of them right now, existing ones. Any ideas?
So many ideas that people do the incinerators, people trying to turn this into
Energy.
power energies.
Yeah.
People also talking about mining
Yes.
the landfill. Basically, there is a kit or I don't know what like put it everything over there. Just come out as the metal will separate, the ash they can use it for something. So it's many of this idea, but always involve government, always involve not as easy as just like, oh, let's just go there and mine it,
Yeah.
So many people or organization or government got involved, so that sometimes slow the process.
Yeah. I go back to Latvia sometimes, where I'm from, and we separate in Vancouver. So I'm like, why don't you separate your garbage? And I wanted to raise awareness after, especially talking to you. You inspire me for that, inspire me to think about it seriously. And they tell me a really sad story, I'll be honest. They're like, well, we separated before. We have different bins. But then we see that the truck comes and puts us on in one.
Yeah.
And they're like, this discourages us to do anything.
Yeah.
And
Why should I?
I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so sad.
Yeah.
They just don't care. So I think you have to pay a lot of, even in Bali, to have like somebody take out your separate garbage, you have to pay more. So definitely locals cannot afford it. It's mostly for boules, as they call it, foreigners. But I mean, in places like Latvia also, there's not a lot of rich people who can afford to pay extra to separate. So I think that's a crazy problem that needs to be solved, because for me, that's so sad.
Yeah. One time I was talking about garbage, like, and it's really hit me like, garbage is luxury.
Yeah.
To process garbage is luxury, meaning like, if you don't have money, you cannot afford it.
Yes.
And then what you do, just throw it someplace that doesn't cost you money.
Yeah.
So if I would pay, like, why should I pay for the garbage?
Yes.
I need to pay to put the food on the table.
Yeah. It's only, you need to be like wealthy to afford that, because there's to many people, it's the last thing you're gonna think. If you're feeding your kids, like, why would you? So that's why it needs to be done as like a government subsidy, or somebody needs to come in and say it doesn't cost you anything, but you're doing good. I think that's exactly what you're doing. I actually gonna give you something for you doing this work.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't make money for these people, then there's no incentive.
Yeah.
So I think there needs to be a way to figure out how this can make money. Let's say if the separation can bring somebody profit, and then they will invest in a garbage trucks that will go and pick it up.
Yeah.
But then again, you can sell, as what you were telling me, sometimes you can go and take this plastic and sell it if it's separated. So I don't really know. I guess it doesn't, economics doesn't work out. Transportation is expensive.
It's kind of like this conundrum, like, well, if doesn't make a business sense, let's do not do it.
Yeah.
But the cost of the environments that caused by not doing,
Yes.
it's gonna outweigh the the money that we pay now. I mean, think about the global warming. People talk about this disaster, and it will take more money
Yes.
to fix the disaster than to pay now for people pick up garbage, for instance.
That's a very human problem. I mean, I think the problem is that this garbage dump is not next to your house.
Exactly.
If they would just put all the garbage in like a central park and say either you separate or you bring it,
Yeah.
then it will be different. But because it doesn't bother anybody, everything is so beautiful and clean. But where does it go?
Yeah. I mean, again, even like United States, for instance, and they import their garbage,
Yes.
or export.
Yeah. They sell. Actually, they send it to Latvia. They
Yeah.
send nuclear waste to Latvia and they just put it on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
So
crazy.
out of sight, out of mind.
Yes.
If you cannot see it, not exist.
Well, that's the worst. You're just solving problem with money that you can use. So actually, this money that they do for exporting, they don't put it back to that. Anyway, I'm not gonna go on a
Let's
bashing.
talk about something else.
But I want to talk about the other thing. I was talking to somebody recently, and there's a lot of blame happening. We blame each other. We blame like, okay, how did we get there? Global warming, blah blah blah. And the person raised a good point. We don't know what we don't know. And this person is into sustainability on this podcast, Rick. And he said a good point that sort of opened my eyes. He's like, 20 years ago, this wasn't a common knowledge. Nobody had an idea that you could do it.
Mhm.
So why were we blaming people of the past? And in the past, we did so many bad things if we just didn't know.
Yeah.
What do you expect to do?
Mhm.
What do you think about it?
Well, I think blaming game is not. I mean, for me, blaming game is done.
Yeah.
What will solve with the blaming?
Yeah.
Really, like you said, asbestos was the thing that people use, like building, because it was easy, blah blah blah, and then they find out, oh, asbestos is bad,
Yes.
and then they ban it. At the time, they didn't know,
Yeah.
So yeah, we cannot change the past in some ways, but how can we
Change the future.
Yeah.
And present.
and present start doing something now
Yeah.
for the future?
Yeah. It's all about being aware.
Yeah, about being aware and really, what can I do?
Yeah.
Even when I do this plastic exchange, for instance, if I think about the problem of the world is paralyzing,
Yeah.
well, even if I do this, will not make a difference, but it does.
Yeah, because it inspires other people
Yeah,
to make.
inspire the people to do the
Yeah.
same. If people say I'm doing it in Bali, and if somebody else got inspired doing it in Lombok, doing it in Java,
Yes.
and
Indonesia will be example for other
example,
countries.
and then other countries doing it. So.
But I think what you're doing is already changing minds. And there was a good example.
Mhm.
I went to this Bali organic fruit shop. I won't name the name because they'll be like, why are you talking about us? But I went to the place and I picked up a bunch of fruit. And I'm like, this fruit. And he looked at me with like this saddest face you can see. He was like, a shame was on his face. Local guy. He's like, we only have a plastic bags. And I'm like, he understands
yeah,
that this is not good. And I think
Yeah.
this is the most important.
yeah.
Once you feel shame, you feel some emotion around
Yes,
it.
exactly.
You can change it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot thanks to you. I think
Thank you.
you brought that awareness. And I was like, wow, I'll take the bag because I don't have anywhere to put. But I like that we all are, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah,
and he's uncomfortable.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
And
I mean,
it's
this is a good point. Once you have an awareness, and then you can change.
Yes.
I mean, even right now, if you're not aware, you cannot change it.
Yes.
Yeah. So like you said, people doing blaming and all of that, they do know.
Yes.
Even right now, if I ask you a question, can you feel your butt that now sitting on a cushion? Yeah.
Right now, when you
Right
said
now,
that,
yeah.
I'm aware of it.
I'm
yes.
aware, yeah. But you've been sitting here for how many
Yes.
minutes now? But
Yeah.
you're not aware of it.
Yeah.
You know,
Beautiful.
until you put your intention to it, you cannot change it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with now that people put attention to attend to global warming, to plastic, to organic. So people start in a conversation.
Yes.
Once you in awareness and
Yeah.
and
Then you can take action.
and then you can change. Yeah,
Yeah. Because if you don't know, like, what action can you take? You just don't
exactly.
know. Beautiful. That's why we have this conversation, to raise awareness so people can sit down. If you're sitting down listening, just be aware that this exists. Now you cannot ignore it because we're giving you all this information. I think to me, I have two kids. You have kids, and I think to me it's very important to figure out what do I do with my kids. Actually, things that we do is we go to the beach, and Ezra, my son, when he sees plastic, he's like, "Oh, this is a game. Let's go pick up all the plastic on this beach." It's like habit. He's just, I'm doing it, and he loves it. He's like, "Let's find more plastic," and you cannot get them out of it. I'm like, "I understand you're an environmental guy, but we need to go and eat."
Yeah.
He's like, "No." He's running naked in the water, getting plastic. And I'm like, beautiful. So
Yeah.
he learns to do it. So, what do you think we can do other than things like that our kids are different than us in terms of awareness and in terms of action?
I think it's like you said, it's a lot of them is on how we bring the awareness to kids. If we eat something and we throw it like that, and then that's what the kids see, and then they will do the same, and then and then what happened with the muscle memory? Yeah, they will do this.
And actually, my kids never did that until they came to Bali, because it's pretty common and nannies do that.
Yeah,
We don't do that because I'm raised that I need to find a garbage. I'll walk with this melting ice cream in my hand, and I'm like, I hate this place. Where's the garbage bin?
Mm-hmm.
But people here, just like I see all the time, like from the bike, they drive a bike and they throw things around, and you're like, what are you doing?
So as a parent, it's really like you need to change first, to see the change of your kids. And I always said like, we need to educate the young because, and I don't agree that. Meaning like we need to educate everybody, not just the young. Like it's almost like, it's their problem, not my problem. I see it that way. Of course, kids they are open to new idea and all of that. And people said, it's hard to change. Yeah, it's hard because it's comfortable. What you're doing right now is comfortable. So I don't want to change. Why should I change? I throw the garbage, nothing happened. So
they sold in Singapore in a weird way. They just cane you with a big cane. You cannot bring bubble gum to Singapore. They just say it. You bring bubble gum, you get caned or whatever. I don't know.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like many ways to change habit, or many ways to have people to comply. One of them is by punishment. One of by shaming. But what I choose is by positive rewards. It's more fun.
Definitely.
With doing positive like your kids. A game. It's they're running around, seeing it and then you have a game. Who's got the most plastic? Good job. So like a pride, like a ownership. Wow, I did it. I accomplished something. Instead of like or because of the law like this, and then you afraid, it's scared, about doing something.
But I think the older we become, the harder it is. Like the harder it is to get out what's comfortable. So I might say unpopular thing, but I think it's sometimes with some people you need to implement the laws to say, don't do that, because it can get too far. Like if you look at some of the beaches in Bali, I don't know. I think if people are used to it so much and they don't understand that this is not normal, and they just walk and they don't care, and I'm like, it's your beach, you live here.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, you bringing a good point here. Once you see something over and over, it's become normal. They didn't see it. You become blinded by it. So like I live in United States for quite a bit, and I see the difference. So once you live in a place, say like you have a house that always messy, and then that's what you're comfortable with, and you didn't even see it, and then say like your house is really tidy and all of that, and you go there like, my God, how can you live here?
Or go in somebody's car. Like I sometimes you open the door and there's just like trash is just going for the car, and I'm like, this is your.
But again, anything that you see it over and over, and then that's become that you become like comfortable, like, I didn't notice, I didn't smell it,
We're getting used to easy to anything, bad things, good things. Just show it.
Same thing with habit, same thing with habit.
100%. So for Janur Yasa, what are the next 5-10 years look like? What do you want to achieve, and how we can support you?
I don't know.
Okay, that's a good
Yeah,
answer.
it's really just, of course, I wanna always doing this, and I don't know. It's really I don't know.
Okay.
I'm answering this question is from like I don't have any
Beautiful.
thinking in
Well, you're just
horizon.
happy as you are. That's
Yeah, just like doing what I'm doing right now, and yeah, sometimes it's scary, like oh my God, what is going to be look like in 1 year from now?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm really happy to receive a lot of invitation of collaboration and all of that, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So this composting holes, I mean, you want it to be in every household? Is that what you're aiming for?
I think it's my dream is like a become a code for building.
Yeah.
Like when you build a house, you need to have rooms, you need to have a septic tank, you need to have a toilet, and all of this. You need to have this
Composting hole.
because it's part of your garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Amazing. So the last part I have is called soulful questions. It used to be called rapid fire questions, but now it's called soulful questions because you have to answer them in a short form. We'd be like, why is it called rapid fire? Anyway, so in the time we're gonna take, because you answered some of them before, but year and a half passed. So let's take the timeline from when we last spoke
I
to
don't
now.
remember.
And you don't remember, so yeah, you can answer the same thing as well. Don't worry. What were some of your biggest challenges or failures? You can call it any way since we last spoke, and what did you learn from them?
Failure myself, like
Oh wow.
yeah,
Okay.
Think small. So I just need to think big.
Okay. What do you any plans how to accomplish that?
Collaboration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys are listening and you want to collaborate with Janur, I actually think of a couple of people I need to introduce you to after this.
Yeah,
But
you already did.
please guys reach out. We'll leave some information show notes to collaborate so Janur can think big, because he's not thinking big enough yet. Which is like being CNN Hero of the Year and cleaning Bali out of plastic. That's not big enough, You could do bigger than that,
Can be
Janur.
bigger, yeah.
What's wrong with you?
We all can be big,
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, getting 500 kilos of plastic on day one. Just think bigger. What are some of the routines you have right now that helps you to keep into focus on working on your mission? It can be night routines, day routines, anything you want to share.
Biking.
All right.
So exercise really keep me out of my
Head.
running story in my head. Because one of my backgrounds is also in somatic, so really move your body.
Yeah. Wow. Any diets or anything that you follow?
I'm on a seafood diet. I eat what I see.
Pescatarian, I eat what I see. Okay. He got me there.
No, actually, I eat more and more like vegetables. So, yeah.
Okay.
My restaurant is vegans, but I'm not vegans. So I still eat like cheese, protein, sometimes from animal protein also. Yeah.
Nice. What time do you wake up? I'm going to drill you on this because you're not answering me. What time are you going to wake up?
Yeah.
What time do you wake up?
By 5 o'clock I
Wow.
sleep. Yeah. Doesn't matter what time I sleep. 5 o'clock, ping,
And what do you do?
Depends. If I'm motivated enough, go for bike ride. Otherwise, stretching or sometime answering emails.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, 5 a.m. I do similarly, but I have kids. I don't have a choice. They just wake me up. If you met yourself, let's say 15, 20 years ago, knowing what you know now, what would you tell yourself?
Maybe if I met myself 30 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's, learn what you can. You never know when you're going to use it.
And how would you apply that?
and I you know, like if I look at back, you know, like I was a janitor at one point. I was learning how to do the spreadsheets, balancing checkbook, and all of that. And when I have the business, like all of those things come
Yeah.
to play.
Wow.
You know, like, oh, this bathroom is not clean. I know it's not clean because
You know. Yes.
I know
Yeah.
I done it before. And balancing the checkbook or reading the P&L, you know, all of this is just, I didn't go to school for it, but just through
Yeah.
people learning, showing me. And sometimes, you know, like, oh, why should I learn this? You know, when I'm going to use it, you just never know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. In last year and a half, what were some of the beliefs that you used to hold that you don't hold anymore?
It's a good question. You know, I always live in a hybrid kind of thing. Hybrid meaning I believe in spirituals, but I also believe in practical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes people too practical, not spiritual, but sometimes people too spiritual, not practical. So I would love to be more balanced in spiritual and practical. So hybrid, yes.
Wow. Okay. And do you do any spiritual practices for it?
Uh,
Are you planning to do?
I mean, spiritual practice is like, what is it? Something to
Anything? Meditation?
religion associate and all?
No.
No, okay.
The meditation is spiritual practice? Or?
Biking is my spiritual practice, you know.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Biking is just like, for me, once I go couple miles or something like that, just in the
Yeah.
flow, yeah.
And it's actually really important because many people listening will be like, you need to sit down, meditate to be spiritual.
Mhm.
You need to go to church. Well, you can just, I walk in the morning,
Yeah.
you bike in the morning, just clear your head, and that's your spiritual practice.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Two more questions. This one, well, for the deep, so we'll see. We'll see how that's going to go. Imagine situation, you're on a deathbed, you're about to die, which is a very grim topic, but imaginary situation, and you can only pass one thing to your kids. What would that be?
What would that be? As cliche it sounds, it's like really follow your heart, meaning whatever that you want to do is like, yeah, do. I mean, again, you know, do what you love what you do, because once you do that, it always open up the door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful. The last question is how to live a happy and fulfilling life according to Janur Yasa.
Don't take life so seriously.
Yeah, hell yeah. Beautiful. Janur, so all my questions, it was a pleasure as always. You're inspiring me. Also, you don't think big. I mean, probably in your head you don't, but for me, you're definitely a role model. Thank you for inspiring all of us and for being in my life and for sharing your knowledge. I really, really appreciate you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me for second time.
For second time. And for everybody listening, soul to soul, guys. Find us everywhere. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Cool.
Beautiful.